welcome to the Beauty of Motherhood. We will be talking about the first 1,000 days of the human life for the pregnant mom to the 2-year-old.
And we thank you for joining us, and we're looking for you to leave with amazing, fantastic, doable information. Nothing vague. So if you stay tuned and stay fine-tuned, you're going to get everything you need for the first 1,000 days. Is that right?
Complete with self-care demos that you can actually implement now, and we'll be going through them as well. But we're going to start now with a quick little prayer from Lisa, and then we're going to go through purpose and some opening thoughts and ground rules.
Yeah. So we are so thankful to our God, the God that we serve, that gives us opportunities to come into communities and break open what we believe is the bread of life, information and knowledge. And we ask that the Lord will allow our words to be understood more than anything. We ask Him to help us to execute what we believe He has given us, and we pray in Jesus' name that the listeners will be able to take away a nugget at least that will be able to serve their purpose in real life, in real time. We thank you, God. Amen.
Right.
So first I'd like to say the goal is to protect and uplift the first 1,000 days of an infant's life and the mother's role in those first 1,000 days. The plan for us here is to be real, raw,
Check.
and revealing our experiences that are evidence-based. So sometimes we come up with a lot of ideas and mother's wit, but in this era, we mean to bring you evidence-based information from an ancestral and practical perspective. Our purpose and our goal is literally to establish trust, authority, and emotional safety. Would that be correct?
I think that's right on.
So the opening thought, they're telling me to say this plainly.
And she's
right?
doing great, by the way.
Everything that shapes a child's future happens before that child can explain what they need. The first 1,000 days decide more than any test score or diagnosis ever will. So let's just lay out some ground rules before we get started here. We know we plan to have a room full of people, so as they come in, please remind them of the ground rules. No judgment. Feel free to share. This is an open and safe space. So no, we don't have any NDAs, but this is an open and safe space, right?
That's right.
Just know there are no perfect parents. Doesn't matter what you've heard, there are no perfect parents. We welcome real questions, right? We live in reality, right?
Every day.
Okay. So fathers and partners matter here. This is a learning and a healing space. That's our goal, and we just laid those ground rules so that everybody know that they can be authentically themselves.
I have a question before we start. Who are you? And what do you do?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, I'm Reverend Lisa Weddington. I am an educational consultant. So that's so broad, and it's intentional. I have a unique gift that I can read, comprehend, and understand and execute anything. If it requires a certification or a license, I may not always be up to the task of testing into medical school, so that's why I'm not a doctor, right? But that's my gift. I can read any text, magazine, book, and literally comprehend as though I am a practitioner of that.
That's good.
So that's my gift, and I use that gift to serve in the homeschool arena, to serve in outreach ministry, and to serve as pastor and minister. So that's who I am.
Oh, awesome.
A mother
Okay.
of adult sons.
Okay.
I am a grandmother, and last but not least, that's why I'm late, I am a wife. So what I tell people when I'm late, go ahead and start without me, because I'm going to take care of Leon first.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll be here when it's my turn. I promise you. So that's who I am. That's who I am.
Okay, so a little bit about me, and I'm just gonna be brief. I'm a mother of many. I like to say I'm a mother of 9. That's my thing. Don't question me. Let's just go with that. And I'm a former homeschooler, and I love birth. I love birth. I love life and everything about it. So, as the founder of the Pink Grasshopper Full Spectrum Doula and Training Services, I cover fertility to end of life. So that's kind of inclusive of why we're here now. We're going to talk about birth, the first 1,000 days. We're going to talk about self-care. We're going to talk about even the mental capacity of it. We actually bring in this lady. I don't know if you know about her, but she is an amazing therapist.
Do.
So we have a lot planned, and we got a little time to go over it. So again, if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask us. That's why we're here, and we're just a bunch of friends and we're having fun. So get comfortable and let's go. I said, if I didn't say it loud enough from out of my brain, call me Bunny. All right. So, what we talking, why the first 1,000 days is so important. I'm going to shift the mic. Why it's so important? Because that is when the brain is developing super fast. Like 80% of the child's brain is developed by that second year of life. And a lot of people will say, so what? You know, why does that matter? Well, you can look at it a couple of different ways. If you fuel the brain the right way, and if you make it impactful, and if you give it the right nutrition, and if you feed it the right environment, if you tell the baby the right things and nurture the baby, you can expect that child to be a better human. They're not going to be the best in the world, but they're going to have a concept of how to thrive in an ever-changing world. They're going to be more confident on why putting on a coat in the wintertime matter instead of just running out like some of us do already. But it gives them time to develop a stronger immune system. It gives them time to understand the dynamics of their family. It gives them an opportunity to understand the dynamics outside of their family door and understand that home is a safe place. It also gives the father and the mother and the community a time to get in alignment as well. And I mentioned the father because we're going to go through these in more detail, but I mentioned the father because he protects the space and the mother nurtures the space, right? You can't replace one without the other. And that is a summary of why it is important. As far as the community goes, the community brings programs and opportunities and resources that help support the family. The family grows and the family thrives, and it makes a better and a safer community. And I like to tell people, if you really don't see the value in it, let's think about the wildest person in the world. Would you want them to be your leader? Don't answer that right now, because I know what you're about to say. That probably wasn't the best analogy, right? But that's where we are with it. So we know his first 1,000 days was totally different. But getting back on topic, and Miss Lisa is really good with keeping me on topic, and that's what our little cheat notes here for. I'm so glad we're gonna have some of this stuff edited out. I forgot about that. Okay, so this particular podcast information is great for the expectant moms. It's going to be great for the caretakers, her village. It's going to be great, of course, for the fathers, the birthing partners, because you know sometimes they're not always the fathers, and also the local caregivers and the community. So I'm really glad that we have a great mix of y'all here today. And Miss Lisa,
Yes.
see, we can always pause. I need you to flip that sucker on over. Okay. So again, we were saying that first 1,000 days is from conception to 2 years old, but we also saying we're talking about the stress hormones during pregnancy that can alter the brain, the fetal brain development, and that's where doulas come in. So as a full spectrum doula, we focus on assisting and serving. We don't diagnose. A lot of people think that we give out medicine. We don't. There's different types of doulas. There's the fertility doula. There's the antepartum doula. There's the labor and how do I have a brain freeze of my own labor and delivery doula? There's the postpartum doula, and then there's the end of life / death doula. In the capacity of antepartum, how we serve our clients is we get them active, we get them educated, we get them confident, we give them a voice. We make sure that they are in tune, make sure they understand what's going on with their care. We connect with the community, so if they need something outside of our space, i.e. Help making appointments, if they need someone to talk to, we connect them with amazing therapists. We also get them connected with communicating with their job. If they're employed and they don't know how to talk to their boss to say they need this time off, we help them accomplish that. We'll go to the pool with them so they can work out if that's what they need to do. So there's no one track to a doula. We just don't diagnose. You have some doulas that is really great with herbs and food preparation. That's when you come to the specialties. But for the most part, that's what that antepartum doula helps. And we help the mother find her voice. So, if she's having communication problems with her partner or with her mother or with her sister, and she needs to make sure everybody know what her comfort level is, we step in and we can help them by saying, Carla really needs you to understand that this is a very stressful time. She needs you to protect her, and this is what she needs and this is what she don't need. We just have to set the pace. Because depression can kick in. Like, you can be pregnant, and most people think that is the happiest time in the world for you, and it really isn't. Like, you really borderline want to give this child up for adoption. You want to abort the baby, and sometimes it just takes connection and support. And that's why you can't do it without a great community and support system. So
can I ask a question?
Absolutely, that's why we're here.
What I'm hearing is, or am I hearing, understanding correctly, is that having the support of a doula actually costs less in terms of health care.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, in so many ways. Like, you can think of, if you don't know what you're doing, you would do anything. So we kind of fine line all of your options. We fine line the best options for you, if that makes any sense. And even down to the birth itself. A lot of times when you don't know how to breathe through contractions, a lot of times when you don't know you can sit on the ball, or you don't have to deliver with your legs up, that makes a big difference. Because those bills, like the hospital is a great place. I would not take anything from that industry, but it's focused on the business side of birth, not the human side of birth, or so to speak. So the beautiful thing about that part is you have someone that has already coached you in what you can actually do. You don't have to get a C-section all the time. Sometimes it's necessary, but it's not necessary all the time. So if you can sit on the ball and just roll your hips for a few minutes and save yourself some money, or your partner can talk to your baby, because again, fathers are magical. They can sit and talk to the baby. I've had a baby that was transverse leg, and it was just a matter of getting daddy's attention and just turning around, and the baby popped out. But definitely saving money for sure. You can't fix later what has been protected early. But yeah, we love dads. Where we at with it? Because we got to stay on track, because I like to talk. Okay, so just a little bit about me, and at some point it's going to be edited and cut out. But there was a situation where I was nursing at the local library, and I had on this shirt. I still have that shirt to this day. And I put my baby inside my shirt, and I was just nursing him. And this older lady came up and said, "You can't do that." And I was like, "Why can't I do that?" I said, "I'm breastfeeding my baby. I'm not revealing myself," because it was a crisscross shirt. She said, "Because one of the library guests is offended." And I was like, "Well, then he needs to leave. He needs to leave." So I was upset and I was hurt, and I left out the library after I called my husband at that time, and he said, "Just come home. I'm coming to pick you up." And I did, but I went to my local WIC office and I told them what happened, and by the next day, we had 3 news stations that was at the house wanting the story. And the story went nationwide. It didn't went nationwide because I was upset. It went nationwide because I was denied, and I was attempted to be hushed by breastfeeding my baby, and it's illegal. And that was one moment when I decided, you know what, there has to be other women that's going through this, and no other woman should feel the way I felt, because because it was like, I'm just trying to feed my baby. I'm trying to feed my baby and I'm trying to work. Because I was actually doing something for my family on the public library computer. So the story went nationwide, worldwide actually. I had people in Australia emailing me, thank you for doing this because it happened to me, and they just stood there and cried. How the story ended was they did apologize to me. Not only that, they actually installed a breastfeeding room inside the library. So what I take from that and why I like to share that is because had I not had the support from my village, I probably would have never took that step and went to the WIC office. I probably would have never called my husband at that time and say, listen, they just not told me I can't feed our baby. And I knew I was right. I knew feeding my baby was right. I knew going to the WIC office was right. I knew that making those moves was not just for me, it was also for my community and for other moms that came after me. And I was happy that I had the support of the WIC office to be the catalyst for that process and healing, because I still have that shirt to this day. And my baby is 14 years old. So that was important to me. And from that's another nickname that I have. So they will call me QC Supermom. You can actually Google it because they have it in Charlotte. And I wear other hats like we said before, but the point I'm making is this right here. Everything I learned, I had learned the hard way, and that's why we're here to help the next mom. Where we at? Okay. What about this?
So when we look at fathers and partners, not optional, the purpose is inclusion and accountability. Thank you, we welcome you. So a lot of times fathers can feel isolated, even if it's a couple that live together, they feel isolated. And sometimes it's just simple as how you were reared, right? It's a mom's thing, you know. When I was having children, we had baby showers, and men were not invited. Now we have baby showers, or what's it called?
Reveal, baby reveal
baby
parties.
reveal.
Yeah.
Men are coming into feeling that they are part of the whole process, even as the living spouse, the live-in, or the spouse. So we want in the doula world to make sure our families, the young ladies that are being served, that they understand the necessity really of including the father, or whoever's going to be that father figure. It's important to include that. So, and to help them know how to be accountable, right? Because again, depending on how you were reared, your accountability in your mind is limited. Okay, I work, I bring the bread home, and you make it all happen, you know. You go to the doctor's appointments, and you come home and tell me about the doctor's appointments, or not. So we want to make sure that we move fast forward with the evidence-based data that's out there, that fathers matter in those first 1,000 days, or whoever that father figure is. So here's some facts. Babies with involved fathers have higher birth weights. And so when we say fathers, we want to be careful that you will understand we're not talking about the person who was literally the sperm donor. But this could be the person that you have decided that's going to be a part of the male role model in your child's life. If just for the first 1,000 days, right? If just for the time of preparation to give birth. Because some of us, it was wonderful in the baby making process. But then for whatever reason, the tide turns. And so people are very intentional about making sure that they have somebody, as you said, in community to support them. So we want to remind them, get yourself a male role model so that you can feel, and I know she'll talk about it later, what is necessary to carry a child that is emotionally, she'll talk about that more, and mentally healthy within the womb. A lot of times the physician, their concern is what?
Are the vitals right? Vitals right?
Yeah,
Is
the
it
physical,
the
the
room
organs,
clean?
yes.
Those clinical parts.
Yes, so, but those male figures can really help you be in a position that you are healthy mentally, and while you have your good girlfriend, your good friends who are, helping you hang out, there's nothing more, and I might be biased, I could be biased.
You can be biased.
There's
I bring
nothing
unbiased
more pleasing
balance
than
to it.
having a partner support you in your pregnancy. But sometimes you just can't have it, so you intentionally have people who can give that to you, right? So again, facts. Babies have higher birth weights, they breastfeed longer, they have lower stress markers, and again, that ties into that whole mental piece. The father's influence, and these are facts: mother stress, milk supply, and household stability. Those are the things that make a difference when there's a father figure available. Sometimes somebody's father's figure is their own father, right?
Well, that was my case. I was a teen mom at that. I was a teen mom, and my dad, I'm a country girl from the South, so my father was like, my baby is 17, 18, so if anybody get pregnant, I'm not rocking any babies. But when he found out it was but when he found out it was a boy, it was like Kelly Presley. So we named the baby, the family name, it's Kelly Presley. So my dad, my parents protected me through my teen pregnancy, and where they could not protect me, my sisters did and my aunts did. So I had the protection as a teen mom, and eventually when I got married, I had the protection of a husband where I was encouraged to breastfeed his babies. My babies must be breastfed, and they were breastfed. Like all 6 of them were breastfed, and they were breastfed up to 2 years for the most part. Yeah, we did about 2 years. But having someone in that role, I ate well. Having someone in that role, I wasn't stressed. Having someone in that role, I felt protected, and I think that made a big difference. And to the fathers that are out there, your role is very important. I would never tell anybody that the biological father role is not important, whether he is the worst person you met in your life. But I think what was most significant, one of my most memorable opportunities to deal with a father was during COVID, because COVID was rough. COVID was terrible.
Yes. It showed you what you were working with.
It definitely did. It definitely did. And I don't know if any of y'all had
Or
not that their lack thereof. But what I realized during COVID in North Carolina was they shut the hospitals down for extra people. So I couldn't go into the hospitals during a birth with my clients. And we at one of the dads, we decided as a team, I'm gonna train you so you have everything you need, so that when you go in there with your wife, you know how she's feeling by the way she's looking, whether or not it's something different being pregnant in pain and not being pregnant in pain. So I want you to be trained on how to read her nonverbals. I want you to be able to look in her eyes. I want you to be able to touch her ankles and see if the edema is popping back out, which is fluid. I want you to be able to check for preeclampsia. Here is a checklist. Know the signs. Know that the baby is okay. Make sure we lay the baby on the baby's back. Even before then, I'm gonna pack you a bag so you have everything you need, because sometimes the dad mind will be someplace else. But I'm gonna make sure you have your charger cord. I'll make sure you have some chewing gum for her, some combs for her, so she won't abuse you. Because sometimes when labor pains come and you have not fully reminded her how strong she is, and she want to pinch something, I want to make sure. So even in the labor room, dads can be a rock star. They can be a rock star, and he came in unscathed. So that was a great experience and a great example of how fathers protect and set the pace, and how essential they are for birth.
And so it's important for the mothers to be in situations with the doula, where they're helping them to accept the father's think everything you have here is so important and unique. That I wanna make sure that we don't leave any of these stones unturned.
Okay.
So when I see here, the practical role of fathers is, learning feeding cues, right? You know, when you're a mom, you recognize that cry, that whimper as the one for changing a diaper. You recognize these things, right?
Absolutely.
Because the child has been in you and is usually laying on you, so you just recognize those cues. So helping fathers understand what that cue looks like, especially for fathers who are the breadwinners and mom is a stay-at-home mom. Mom gets to see this all the time, so dad may not have any cue why you just jumped up real quick. Because at 11:53, there's always a whimper. Well, dad would know that at 11:53 in the afternoon, there's always a whimper, right? So, learning those feeding cues, advocating for medical spaces. There are some things
That's
a
huge.
male's
That's
voice can do that all the intellects of a woman cannot bring to the table. You know how we can spin our words and Dr. So-and-so and, you know, PhD so-and-so, master degree so-and-so, and you bring a man in the room who has a 5th grade education, just that voice commands attention. So even helping those fathers understand the significance of their roles, you know, making the doctor's appointment. It's just something about, I mean, we know that the data proves that.
Right, that bedside manner can be funny when
Yes,
that doctor wanna
yes.
push you through the system, wanna rush you to get an epidural and
Yes,
C-section and
yes.
you're halfway on the ground and you halfway on the earth side but that voice of reason, of locking stuff down and protection can shut it down real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
She does not want a C-section.
Yes.
She does not want you to put that tap in her
Yeah.
back. So let's let her walk around a little while longer. Let's give her some ice chips. Let's give her something spicy, because you know sometimes spicy food helps push the labor along. There's other things that can push the labor along, but I'm not gonna say that today.
We're gonna say that.
We gonna say, well, there's that. Okay, there's that. But definitely so. And while you were sharing the information, it gave me a thought that I wanted to make sure I included, because this is one of the main reasons why some women don't feel like they need a doula, is because they have this inferior mindset that they can do all things. The truth is, I don't care if you have 6 babies, 9 babies, 1 baby, there's always a need for help to some degree. You don't know everything. And not saying that a doula will solve all your problems, but a doula will give you the insight that you need to solve the problems. They will give you the information to get what you don't have already, if that makes any sense to you guys. And that's okay. So she said I wasn't done yet. She wanted to go over more.
Mother often has someone guarding her peace. A calm mother often has someone guarding her peace. So, and the reason why I'm being a stickler about
And I
what
like
she
that.
has here is because I really believe when we take the time to research and formulate our information, and then we put it to print, there's a scripture that says, write the vision and make it plain. So why would we write the vision and then disregard the vision and just speak from here, right? And the amazing thing about writing it, it says it so that they that run with it can read it, they can understand. So I know this, Doula Bunny knows this, but those that we're speaking with may not realize that the reason they are calm is because they have someone guarding their peace. Back to what you said, we often think, I can do this, I got this, I got this, I got this. Fry up that bacon, what does it say? I can bring home the bacon and stir it up in the pan, and never let you forget you are a man.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Because I'm a woman.
Because I'm a woman, and you can do all of that. But they miss the adjective. You are an exhausted woman. You are an exhausted woman, tired, which leads to non-peace. So we are people. We do best when we have community, right? And back to that, knowing everything and not needing a doula. So your knowing everything makes you a three-legged stool. It sits comfortably, doesn't it? But you can't really lean back, can you, in a three-legged stool, right?
I
You
like
can't
that.
even,
I like that.
you know, my students like to put the chair back on two legs.
Yeah.
You can't do that with a three-legged stool. So your doula is your four-legged chair with the piece that go, oh, we have a remote control now. Let me come back to this, leave the 60s. So your doula is actually your recliner with a remote control, right? It just makes it more comfortable and more easy, and you don't have to do all the thinking. My students will say, Miss Lisa, why did you ask us that? Because you know how to do all of it. I don't have to think, you're right here. I'm saving energy, right? So that's what the doula gives you, that experience of not having to
Do it alone.
bring home the bacon fried up in a pan and stir it up and serve you and never, what?
Okay.
I'm tired.
Okay.
So yeah, so use your doula to preserve some of your energy. And if not for that reason, just to affirm and confirm what you think you already know. So just, again, I'm just a big stickler on when we have taken the time to put together what we want our target audience to receive. Ensure that we're sharing all that information, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of great information,
Yes,
and you were right
yes.
for doing that.
Yes, yes.
Shame on me. Shame on me. Shame on me. Which brings us to breastfeeding
Yes.
and body autonomy.
Mm.
Now, I'm a big advocate for fathers. So, breast milk itself changes every hour. So, a lot of moms get real antsy when that breast milk don't come in immediately. They want to give my baby the bottle. They want to feed my baby the bottle. If I could get $1 for every time I hear that, I'll be so rich. But the first milk is called the colostrum, and that milk is sufficient. And sometimes if you don't know, it is the best. Golden, it's called a golden milk. But if you don't know that that is part of the process, you're going to go straight to the bottle milk. Especially if they're saying if your baby don't gain enough of weight before you leave the hospital, we're giving the baby the incubation and the bottle formula. And that's heartbreaking when your mindset is, I want to give the baby the best, I want to try. And they're like, well, no, you can't. That's where your partner, your birthing partner, your husband, your father, the baby, your birth person will say, no, we're not going to do this with very, very authoritative. We're not going to do this respectful. We're going to do some breast expression. You start playing with that breast. And I've had, you got to hold this because I got to show y'all this. And so with my daughter, and I'm still a caretaker. So with my daughter, she's in the hospital. Her milk didn't come in, but she knew it was colostrum. And her doctor said, if the baby does not eat in the next 6 hours, we're going to give the baby the bottled milk, the formula. And I wasn't in the room. So she called me, she's like, they trying to give the baby the bottled milk. What should I do? Pause, tell her I'm on the way. So I got in there and I said, here's our plan. And it was all about communicating. I said, here is our plan. We're going to self-express, and that is a matter of just pressing getting your nipple and getting whatever milk you can get out, because the baby's stomach is this small. So you really didn't need that much. But we did that, then we got some red raspberry tea. We used those things, and those were the first two things we did. We got a manual breast pump. We didn't have the electric one just yet because the baby daddy didn't bring it. So we used what we got, and we got the baby milk going. So that is another example of just how amazing that birthing partner / dad is. And then after she fed the baby daddy gave chest to chest, skin to skin. And that is so amazing. Like, it's so comforting for both the baby, the mother that's watching and having a break, and the dad. It gives them opportunity to bond with the baby as well. And bonding works best for both parents and the baby. What you want to share on this part?
No, I'm just learning. I'm learning.
Are you learning?
Yes.
Are y'all learning?
Yes.
Okay.
And now that I'm the age I am, I can't believe no one gave me the details of the information.
Okay.
Other than that, it's the most healthy way to feed a baby. So I didn't know. I was just worried about some other things, like
Okay.
some things I may not be able to participate in with my significant other.
Okay.
So I mean, if we're gonna be open and honest here.
Oh, yeah, we
that was
definitely
my,
are.
That was my thought.
Oh, I heard
I'll
that.
participate.
I heard that too. I heard that too.
And,
I heard.
and these other activities that I like.
I heard
So-
that too.
I enjoy, is that a better word?
Okay.
But as I'm learning, I'm seeing, So, sometimes I wonder what thoughts people have for not choosing breastfeeding.
That's one of them.
Because they, right, that, but
They don't want
may
to
feel
keep the baby for the
uncomfortable.
milk.
Yeah,
But
you know.
I'll tell you as a witness, it's a time to breastfeed and it's a time to be fed. It's a time to give life. So, when it's time to breastfeed, what that dad knows, listen, right now, I'm taking care of my family. I'm ensuring that she's not stressed out so that she can produce the milk that's gonna make my seed stronger.
Okay.
I can't feed my baby this formula, but I know my baby's mother is giving them the very best they can get. My time will come. I might have to wait, but I don't have to suck, but it is a matter of timing. And you don't take from one for the other. That could never happen. But the benefits of being supportive in breastfeeding outweighs the temporary pleasure of thinking, not that it's a fact, but thinking that you won't get the same satisfaction intimately from your mate.
That's good. So, that's good.
That
That's
is
really
good.
good.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring out some
Understand.
things.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and
Put it in that perspective, I think I would say.
Okay. And just another plug for the doula part, lactation doulas. You have lactation consultants that help the mom breastfeed. For the ones that think they know the baby's not eating, I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's slow down. Let's make sure the tongue is down and you place your nipple on top of the baby tongue. And there's a little swoop that you have to do, but after that, a couple of times that baby will be grabbing your nipple and feeding itself in no time. So that's the beautiful thing about being trained. And the daddy helps by bringing hydration, teas, and whatever it is that he's going to bring. The pillow, making sure she's comfortable. There's so many ways that he can help. I'll let you have that part.
So our ancestors fed babies without permission slips. Wow.
So everything, I'm glad you just stopped me and paused me because I would have been going through it much quicker. So I like that.
Wow.
That's what's up.
Wow. So that's something we can do without permission. Wow.
And that's where the caregivers come in. So going outside of that trinity, grandmothers, aunties, y'all bring in a special component, whereas the daddy may get tired. Mama is tired, she want to take a nap. The doula is an extension of all of the above. So mom is tired. Let me sit with this baby, fold some clothes, make her some soup. Because she's gonna need nourishment. She's gonna need to rest. Maybe she just want to look at somebody different than the baby daddy. So let me give her a break. And that is so essential. Like, you don't have to talk to me, just let me just be quiet. I just want to be quiet and make sure the baby is okay. Don't say a word to me, just let me relax. And that is where her village steps in. She may not have anybody to talk to, but another mom that's going through the same thing. That's why I said anybody can be a doula that has the heart for it. It's not rocket science. It's having a heart and understanding that we take care of ourselves. We take care of each other.
Can you talk a little bit about what it means the baby rides the mother's nervous system?
Rides nervous system?
Yeah.
During pregnancy and even after pregnancy, they are intertwined. Like, they're in this together for 9 months on average. I like to encourage moms to go back to their ninth month. So when she's upset, those emotions and those vibrations and that energy and that depression in her immune system, it does trickle down to the baby. That umbilical cord is there for a reason. It don't just transfer food, it also transfer emotions and energy as well. So the worst time to get on the mother's nerve is when she pregnant. That's why the baby come out looking like the daddy sometimes. You just got on my nerves. So it's strong genes too, but that's the gist of it. That is the gist of it. So where we at now, Lisa?
Fathers and partners not optional.
Yeah, we did that.
We did that. So we're moving along, Minister Boardley. How we doing? Cool. So, so self-care purpose, I don't know if I went ahead.
Okay.
I asked the question, talking about restore your nervous system, not self-perfection. What does that mean? To restore the nervous system and not self-perfection.
So this is where our amazing Ashley, the licensed cosmetologist, would have been presenting her part. She did such an amazing job in our first workshop. She shut it down, and the thing about it is, the items that she purchased, they weren't expensive. She literally went to the dollar store and racked up. And what this statement means is restore your nervous system, practice self-care, and don't sell perfection. You're not going for perfection because you may never get that, and you should never feel like you're less of a person if you don't get to perfection. But there's small things that you can do to make you feel good. So to the right of me is just a couple of things that Ashley gave us. I'm gonna zoom out the camera for a tad bit, okay? So
Bring them over. And
Bring them over.
They're seeing here.
okay, I'm just gonna grab a couple of stuff. Some real simple things. This is a massager. And what she shared about that is
On the hand.
touch is amazing, right? She did. She was sharing just how important touch is. And this stuff will be available. I actually took some pictures of it already, but I just wanted to share. The witch hazel is for skin maintenance. Your birth partner, your baby daddy can always massage you down with some type of oil, and it's just good for your skin. And our therapist has shared some stuff like that, and she knows that stuff too real well. Then the hair mask, just the things, real simple, cheap things that make you feel good. You're not in no pageant, but you want to be relaxed and feeling good. Aromatherapy, I like when I go for birth, I take lavender and other types of aromatherapy. Go ahead, speak up. What y'all talking about? Y'all talk. Let's engage. What you say?
I said I don't like to say cheap. I like to say cost effective.
Cost effective. Okay. Okay. I like cost effective. So
There you go.
yeah. So there's a collection of cost effective things, and one thing I did bring in was this blanket, and I didn't bring it because it was just warm. But a lot of times I see moms out and they don't have a carrier, they don't have a stroller. They don't have a stroller and they don't have a carrier, which we are giving away a carrier today. But I don't care where I'm at. If I have a piece of fabric on me, I'm like, listen, Mom, I got to show you something. Did you wear your baby? And they were like, what you mean wear? I said, do you know how to wear your baby? And they're like, I don't have a clue. I said, okay, let me get that baby blanket you got on the bottom of your baby bag. And I just open the blanket up, and it doesn't take long at all because I'm a pro. I do this all the time. I do this to this day if I'm out with my 18-month-old grandson, and I would just tie it up, fold it up, knot it up, and I will say this while I'm constructing this one. One beautiful thing about being a mother of color is that we make it happen in the most creative ways, again, cost-effective ways. This is secure. Because I'm gonna knot it twice. And while I'm doing that, the purpose of this is, what do we call that? Improvising. And I will put my baby up in here. Crack a little, see right now? And this usually goes inside the extra width, but I just want to show y'all what it looks like. You're not gonna carry no 3-year-old in this, but a nice little infant. You have the knot here, and Minister Borley is an angler, so you can tell me about my knot and how secure my knot is at another time. But you can put that baby in there and go about your business. You can wash dishes, check the mail, walk around, especially if you got a C-section and you want to, just to get exercise there, which is important. But this is all it takes. Again, this goes along with self-care, and I just want to show that real quick. But Ashley did an amazing oil mixture. She did lavender oil, and she shared it around so you can actually smell it and just be in that state of bliss with her, which I thought was amazing. You can go over that. A part of what I do with the moms is I give them the wisdom of granny midwives, and granny midwives being a Southern girl, you know, we make things happen in the most unconventional way. And rest is medicine. Herbs are medicine. Warm baths are medicine. Little simple things like that, and that's part of what we're going to go into now.
So again, we have the mental health specialist here, and she's going to really delve into the significance of self-care. Literally, you may not have the baby's daddy. You may not have supportive male role models. There are people who have all kind of backgrounds, and they're basically loners. You have people, mothers who are waiting for their significant other to come home, and they have a 20-year bid. But psychologically, in the mom's mind, they're gonna be home in a year or two. They're gonna be home in a minute. So it really hasn't registered. So you really may not have that male. Go ahead and get your friends. I often tell people, find you a synagogue, a church, a mosque, and connect with some of the couples there, especially us senior couples.
Oh gosh.
We just enjoy holding somebody else's baby because we can send them back, right?
And you can learn a lot from the senior
And you-
themselves.
so,
Like,
Just
they're gonna tell you, the seniors, they have the wisdom and they have the experience and they want to share. So I'm a big advocate for fathers just as much as for my elders. Like, they are bored, half of them are bored, they don't have anything to do. Why not sit with that new mom while the baby take a nap? Why not tell her that, you know, your baby, you can bind your belly and, you know, get your snap back with a nice girdle or a piece of fabric and just belly bind and make it happen. But there's so many other ways that self-care looks a lot of different ways.
Find out who your true friends are. And a way to find that out is that when you are transparent and you're saying to your dear friend, I'm really exhausted, and I think I'm just gonna send Charlie to his grandmother. I can't do it. You should be able to tell that to a good friend. And being intentional, you should be able to say, look y'all, sometimes I don't even know why this was a good idea to have a kid. I need y'all to call me every now and again and remind me that I said I wanted to have a kid because I needed somebody to take care of me when I get old.
There's that.
You need to intentionally get people on your team. You know what, I need you guys to come over once a month. Because Ed is not coming home for 20 years. Can y'all somebody just rub my back? You know, can you just give me a back massage? You know, so you really have to be intentional about your own self-care. And there are ways to do it that's cost effective. Did I say that right? Cost effective. Cost effective. So
It's hard to ask for that sometimes.
It really
I
is.
find that that's something you have to give yourself permission.
yeah, and that's
to
why we
do.
said we're not selling perfect.
We're not selling
We're
perfection.
just giving ideas and suggestions. And what I know from granting wisdom is that when you hear information, and then I learned top with that from a neurosurgeon, is that once you hear something, your brain retains it. And at some point when you are at your most exhausted, your brain will pull forward whatever it needs to save you. So as hard as it may be to ask for help, listen. Nobody has ever drowned without yelling for help. No one. Because the brain will do what it needs to do to try to save you. So we're just here to give the information, knowing for me at some point when you are ready, your brain will pull it forward and try to force you to receive it, to ask for the help you need. And so that's what we do,
That's
right?
what we do. That's what we hear. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over briefly just some ways that caregivers, families, and friends can do some really quick things for their expectant mom. Ginger, garlic, ginger, garlic. So those are two of the most amazing things that you can give them to eat and to chew and to make tea out of. And it helps with, I'm sorry? It's perfect.
It's like ginger and garlic.
Right? Well, I wouldn't put them together.
No, not together.
But I definitely, you know,
Making Indian food.
Exactly, Indian food. So that was just part. And speaking of food, protein is really good for the new mom, for restoration and getting her body back together, as well as the iron-rich food and hydration. That's some parts that Pop can help with. So did we do that one? Did we do that one? Okay. We wouldn't give them anything cold, of course. So just on the community side, I'm surprised she didn't stop and read that last part, because I did skip over that. There you go.
So self-care isn't luxury, it's survival.
So,
I'll get my nails done when I get an extra day to work overtime. No, you and Betty and Aisha and Clarice are gonna get together, and this week you're going. Next pay period, we're paying for you to go. So it's not a luxury, it's intentional. So why do people need to get their nails done anyway? Because it's not just about getting your nails done, it's about getting your hand massaged. And a lot of things,
touch is amazing.
again,
Touch is amazing. You're right.
ancestrally, there's a lot we know about these natural ways of self-soothing or healing and restoration. But as time has gone on, and some of us, quite a few of us, in this era, have lost the way because science has not proven it out, right? So now we're back here, 50 years later, science has proven that a foot massage does something for the whole body. Who knew? Who knew? Like a foot massage.
Touch is amazing.
Who knew that, I got my yoga thing I'm doing for my chin now, right? Who knew for real, like it works? So we're back now, and we understand that science and what we thought were old wives' tales or mother's wit, it's true. They had no way of communicating how it worked.
Even humming. Even humming. Even humming. And you don't have to be from a religion to pray. Like prayer, meditation, affirmations, the power of words. So we're going back to that as well.
So a lot of time I'll say to my students, if I can digress for just a moment, Minister Bordy has left the room.
Yeah, he left the room. Just for a minute.
I'll say to them, they're having a hard time doing a math concept. I don't want to do. I said, but you do, because you know how to follow step 1, 2, and 3. Don't worry about understanding. Just do the steps, and you're going to get the results. So a lot of times we don't employ these simple strategies of what do you say, the skin to skin.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Well, how is that medicine? Okay, so you've never had skin to skin with somebody you love?
She's going there again, but it works.
But it works.
Real.
So that's how you pull your fathers in to have the same senses you have about the baby. Help them feel skin to skin. Usually the men are holding the babies right here, right?
Yeah,
That's what they do. They're just holding the baby right here. So that's skin to clothing. Usually mamas have the baby up here, right? The baby right here. So unless you actually try it, you'll think that these small, what is it again? Cost-effective maneuvers don't work, but they really do. Minister Bull is back.
Okay, so back on topic. Another thing I tell people, and I'm going to play off what Lisa set the pace for as far as the relativity part and the skin to skin, and using the one process to benefit another process. What I like to tell the moms too is when they're in active labor and they're trying to wiggle the baby down, the same thing, the same movement, the same positions you got into to have the baby are the exact same positions that you move and you get into to have the baby come out. So if you was wiggling those hips left to right, you gonna wiggle those hips left to right to get the baby out, face down, that whole, all of that. So I did want to add, before we go too far, we just not shared one way how the community actually minimizes mortality with the baby in simple measures.
So what do you mean when you say mortality?
Okay, so this is outside of SIDS. This goes with abandonment. This goes with undernourished. This goes with taking care of the mom. The Judy Center is a wonderful nonprofit, and what I learned about the Judy Center this morning, I hate talking about people in there in the room, right? So I hate that. But what I learned about the Judy Center, and I want you to do it really, really quickly. Can you give me like a 3 sentence about the Judy Center and how they help new moms?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So what we do.
Yes.
So for new moms, what we would do essentially is anyone comes up to us and can say like, I'll give you an example. I have a mom who's, she's pregnant now, and she's always coming up to us, especially if her diaper gives away, like, is there anything specifically that you do? We say yes, we'll help you out, like if you need formula, if you need, help with like in yourself just as a mom, it can be hard, especially if you're either a new mom or if you already have other kids. So we will have like one-on-ones. You can come in and talk to us, or we have, other facilitators as well. Just a one-on-one, as in you can relax, you can tell us what your needs are, you can tell us, what you're having and problems with and struggling with, and we can try our best to either help you out or see what we can do in terms of what is going to make you feel most comfortable and most, I don't want to say vulnerable, but most heard and felt. So we'll help out with diapers, we'll help out with anything you need, especially if it's food, if it's clothing, if it's, just preparing, like if you need, let's say you don't even have like a high chair and you need that. We're going to work our best to get it for you. It might not be perfect, but we'll get you one. If you need a car seat for your baby to take them home, we'll help you, with our best. So that's what we do, is we're here for you. We want to work with you, and we want to give you what you might not find anywhere else, or what you might think you won't have.
Stand right here right quick. I want to do something. Right here, right here. So I'm trying to do a visual. So you have a caretaker here.
Yep.
You have a doula here. You have the mom here, and you have the community. Do they have to come through me to get access to you? And what barriers are you taking away from this mom getting straight to you?
So I don't put any barriers up. I offer the help, and I extend my hand. And you are more than welcome to pull my hand, pull my arm if you would like. It is completely up to you. I will continuously reach out, so they don't have to go through you. They don't have to go through you. I will extend my hand out. I will, open my arms out for you and just come on in, because the help is always going to be here. We're never going to ever push anyone away.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Oh, okay. And this is her shirt. I like
This
that.
is the Judy Center.
I like that.
Thank you.
Okay, that's what's up. I really.
Thank you.
All right. So, thank you again. That was so awesome. That was really awesome. And that is the beauty of, that's another beauty of motherhood, is having resources and not having so many barriers to getting what you need. That was a perfect. Like that was amazing. Let me give you another. Let me give you another tap tap tap. Where we at, Miss Lisa?
So just looking at the whole community support, going from you as an individual being responsible, and a lot of times when we put people in a place of understanding their responsibility, they can feel like we're blaming them. You are feeling down because you didn't, and we don't want to bring blame, right?
Right,
Our
absolutely.
goal is to bring support. So just to say that, this one plug, if I can,
Knock yourself out.
one more, one less. We are a collaborative organization, and our goal is not to just simply provide, what did you say, you come to one place and you get everything. But we work collaboratively with the community. So you have your Judy Center, right? You have your mental health specialist. You have your doula. You have Miss Lisa to assist you in understanding what can I do in a tangible way to help my family, my mom. So you come to Miss Lisa for the educational support. But you're not limited to me. You don't just have to come to me. We are a consortium of resources. And once we refer you somewhere, you don't have to come back to us and check in. You can just work with the Judy Center. But our goal is to make sure once you meet the doula is connecting you to whatever you need to make you as whole as you can possibly be for today, right? For today. Because tomorrow you could be jumping for joy and bubbly, and then tomorrow you're in the face of crash.
Under a cover with the lights on.
Yes. So it's really about just accessing the resource to help you be the best person you can be. One of the things here I wanted to really mention about the community support, and she calls it the ask room, right? Who checks in on you? I know the last time we was here for part one of this segment, I watched our mental health specialist in action.
Oh, yeah,
And
she checked there.
yeah,
She
so
really checked in on that mom.
yes. So the first time she'd met this young woman, I mean, they just checked in right then and there with both of them having experienced loss, right? So that's why I'm back here today, because I was just so impressed with y'all. I was like, you know what? Who brings food? Who literally brings you food? Who knows that you got laid off? Who realizes, like, at my church, I was the person like, okay, that lady's divorced now. She has custody of the children. Why ain't nobody asking what she need? Y'all remember she had a husband? Like, do we just think she's getting that much in alimony? So who's bringing you food? Who's paying attention to you in your community? So what we do as a group, we're going into the community, like the young lady said in Judy Center. She's gonna bring herself to you and extend her hand. And that's the best that they will do. You have to take that hand. So we're in the community, Minister Wortley, Miss Kelly, Miss Polly. I mean, they're at schools, they're at rec centers, letting them know that we are here to serve your population. That's who we are, that's what we're trying to bring. We want to be a part of communities. We're not limited to Baltimore City, no, right? We go
all
wherever,
over the East
yes,
Coast
we'll
right
go wherever
now.
there's a need, and then we'll find the money to support the work that we need to do, right? That's who we are. It would be pointless to have this whole podcast and nobody knows who's doing what. How do they contact us to get information?
Okay, that's a great question.
Now that we're at community support.
Okay, so we're gonna share that information,
Okay.
where it be an image on the podcast screen or something in the caption.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
One more, one less.
Yeah, you can Google it. One more, one less mentoring.
So you're talking about a senior citizen grandma can Google it. What does that mean to Google it?
To find out more about us.
Where? At the library?
The
In a book?
We haven't published any of our books yet, but we definitely have a plethora of media and literature. But if they Google one more, one less mentoring, they'll
Okay,
pop
but
up.
we ain't selling Google.
No, we're
So they
selling the beauty of motherhood
Okay,
today.
okay.
That's what we're doing today.
They can www one more, one less. Can they do that, Minister Bortley?
It's OMOL Mentoring Inc.
OMOL
Mentoring Inc.
mentoringinc.org. Okay, amazing work they're doing. I introduced myself in the beginning. I've been doing what I'm doing now for over 30 years. So when I say I know what I'm talking about, I really know what I'm talking about. One More, One Less is an organization who's really doing the work. And I know one other organization, and they're a multi-million-dollar organization, and they too are doing the work. So when I say one more, one less, what you see in print, they are literally doing it, boots on the ground and beyond, right?
Mm-hmm.
So back to
She caught on, right?
moving forward, who's checking on you? And if you see that you have no one checking on you, there are amazing organizations. One more, one less. You can just call and we'll make sure you have someone to check in on you, right? You can be intentional about, again, no religious affiliation with any particular organization, but any spiritual or religious organization, they are always looking for people to assist without you being a part of their membership. Find them. And if they're not religious organizations, I guarantee you, as quiet as it is kept, there are a million do-gooders out here. How do we know? They give money, a lot of it, to organizations to ensure that people who are in need can get the assistance they need. But if you reach out to one more, one less, we will connect you with those organizations.
So just going on, thank you so much, Ms. Lisa. I wanted to, we're about to, pause and go get something to eat, and then we're gonna come back. I'm just trying to give just the logistics. We're gonna pause in a minute, get something to eat, come back with our mental therapist to share some information. So there was three more things that I wanted to go over. The first 1,000 days doesn't just shape a child, it shapes generations. And the thought for the beauty of motherhood is the way you start, it leads to a better, more healed, more restored generation. And self-care isn't selfish, it's how we protect the first 1,000 days. And right before we go out to eat, I do have a little cheat sheet for caregivers to be used for every aspect of with the expectant and new mom. But the last thing that I want to share before we pause is that may every mother be protected, every baby be nourished, may every father be present, and may our community remember what we already know. So with that being said, Lisa, you got anything to add before we go get something to eat?
I don't. This has been beautiful. Enjoy your lunch, and we'll meet you back on the other side, right?